This is Inspiring Careers with your host, Ingrid Centurion. We're going to talk about fascinating technologies that will impact your future. Meet inspiring entrepreneurs and people that are making huge differences in the community and around the world. We're going to share career and life lessons of inspiration and success. Our mission is to inspire our viewers to make a better life for themselves by sharing our stories, our interviews, and documentaries. Please stay tuned as we have incredible guests coming up. Today we're going to appreciate our firefighters. We have Roger Nadeau with us. He created the District Fire Chief Gerry W. Nadeau Memorial Foundation, which is a nonprofit 501c3 established to restore a 1986 Pierce fire apparatus with the intent to use it as a memorial for fallen firefighters in a funeral procession. Thank you, Roger, for being on the show with us today.
You're welcome. I'm very pleased to be here.
Well, you're looking really good.
That's the way the officers dress. They look sharp. So I'm proud to be here and to share some of the things that happened to us and how we became our 501c3 and some of the other tragic but the ripple effect of wonderful things that have happened for other people through my brother's death.
And I want to talk about that. What happened to Gerald?
My brother Gerald, we went to a bad fire in Fall River and in 2002, and he got sick and he died. And the blessing for us was we were with him when he passed. After he passed, he was honored at Emmitsburg, Maryland, at the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, where they honor all firefighters who die in the line of duty in the past year. We had a team of family members. 21 of us went in three vehicles to Emmitsburg to be honored that weekend, where we had 3 escorts that took care of us. I saw how great they treated fallen firefighter families, so I got involved with the Fallen Firefighters Foundation as an escort, where we helped the families of fallen firefighters during the whole weekend. I then became involved with the last team, which is called the Local Assistant State Team, LAST, and I became the coordinator for Massachusetts. During this time, we did 3 funerals. Our team did 3 funerals in Rhode Island in 1 year. And I saw there was no nice fire truck to carry a fallen hero on. So the hunt was on. I was looking for a truck. The ones I liked were too far away. The ones I really liked were too much money. And the ones I could get for free were really, really in tough shape. A friend of mine on our team, Sam, told me of an engine that he found that was a Weymouth Naval Air Truck. And it was given to the town of Weymouth when they closed the base in 2002. Well, the chief was having a lot of problems with it, so he wanted to donate it. So he got permission to donate it to our foundation. And we've restored it. It was a yellow truck.
Now, this goes into your long 3-year project.
Program. It's a long 3-year project.
And you didn't plan for 3 years.
Never knew how long it was going to take.
And when you got the truck, it was yellow.
It was yellow, yes, correct.
So you had to have it painted and stripped down. You needed to find parts. Take us through this journey of how...
Okay, the truck was taken to my brother's fire department garage, where some of the people there helped take it apart. And then it was taken to a fire truck dealer in the area. They had it for a long time, and they painted it and made it black over red, which is Chicago colors. And they made a casket module for us. When they were done with that project, it was taken to another fire department truck rebuilder and seller. He sells fire trucks. And they took the truck and finished the project. And they put all new doors on it and diamond plate, lights, graphics, and all that kind of stuff, and made it ready for work. This engine came out of Weymouth Naval Air Station. It was a yellow truck, and we painted it black over red, and we made it into a hearse. And I made this truck as a response unit for firefighters that die in the line of duty.
And you have to thank a few great people and organizations that helped you
Yes, we
get
have.
it all together and looking as beautiful as it is today.
It was a lot of work. A lot of people came and helped us, and we did some fundraisers through comedians and doing fundraising events. We had some comedians come in, and we did one musical group, and we ended up, it took a couple of years to pay the truck off, but it's paid off, and we're using it, and to date we've carried 22 firefighters, 1 junior firefighter, and 2 veterans, 25 people so far.
So the truck was put into service, and immediately you started getting some phone calls.
That is correct. It was used, its first funeral was in Attleboro, Mass, and in 2011.
And tell us about how you decided to apply for a piece of steel from 9/11. What happened?
As we got the truck close to being finished, I heard that you could get a piece of steel from 9/11. So I made some inquiries on how to do that, and some people's names, and wrote a letter requesting a piece of steel. And the letter back that I got was, "How big a piece do you want?" Well, I said, "I can't have an I-beam, that's way too big." So I asked for a piece of steel that is no longer than 24 inches and no more than 40 pounds, so it would fit into the compartment that we were thinking of putting it in. And the piece they sent me was a small piece of steel, and it was called miscellaneous building material. And it's a small piece of steel. It doesn't weigh a pound, 2 pounds maybe. And I contacted a gentleman that was making a memorial in our town, a 9/11 memorial. And I said, "Adam, can you look at our compartment?" He says, "I'm not going to look at it, I'm going to make it for you." So him and his company, in-house custom builders, built and remodeled that little compartment to hold that 9/11 piece of steel, the shipping label, which tells where it's from, the serial number of that piece, and another piece of plastic in there that would hold Father Mychal Judge's badge. Now, people ask me, how did you get Father Judge's badge? Well, it's a long story. It's all miracles, really. That's how it happened.
And I like to call this the mystical badge.
Yes, it is.
Because it has some mystical powers.
A lot of mystical powers.
And how did you end up with the badge?
I had a survivor with me in Emmitsburg that lived in Ocean City, Maryland. She had lost her husband. And we became friendly, and I told her about our engine and that I would like to have Father Judge's badge on it. No, his picture, not his badge, his picture. And
it's Father Mychal
Judge. Yes. And if you look at his spelling, it's M-Y-C-H-A-L. So I was trying to find out who he had for family members. And one of his sisters died, but the twin sister, Dempner, was alive. But I didn't know how to get in touch with her. So I guess one of the survivors that I knew told her about what we were doing, and Dempner called me. And Dempner said to me, "Why do you want my brother's picture on your truck?" So I told her about what we were doing, and she said, "Well, I would really like to meet with you because I do not know you." I said, "Well, that's okay. I'd love to meet with you too." So Nancy, my wife, and I, we went to Ocean Pines, Maryland, where she lived, and we had a couple of meetings with her. And after one of the meetings, she took his badge and she went like this to me, "I'm designated to give you this." And she handed me his badge. And she said, take any picture of my brother off the wall that you want. Well, let me tell you, she had pictures of Father Judge on the wall. But the picture I took was Father Judge in his fire gear. And I wanted him in his fire gear. And I didn't know where that picture was taken, but I found out it was in the lobby of the North Tower before he was killed. So we have that picture, and we use it when we do golf tournaments, where we have a blessing of the helmets. We have tables set up with all the firefighters' helmets, the picture of Father Judge with his badge, and we have a chaplain come in and do a helmet blessing ceremony.
So the likeliness of you picking a picture of Father Judge right before he passed away, that's unbelievable.
It is.
There were hundreds of pictures on her wall.
Oh, no,
She's
there were
the
dozens,
twin,
yeah,
right? She's
twins,
the twin.
yeah, exactly.
She's very connected to Father Judge.
Yes.
And you just happened to choose that picture.
That picture.
That makes the hair on my arms go up, because
some of the pictures she had were him in the chair being carried, that you see the famous picture of Father Judge. Some photos by a professional photographer, but I didn't want to pose. I wanted a picture of him in his fire gear, and it was there, and so she let me have it. So and I don't have it here with me. I have it in Florida. Okay. Otherwise, I would have brought it so you could see it.
And you named the truck after your brother's badge number.
That's correct. My brother's badge was 266, so we call it Engine 266. It's a 1986 Pierce, and it has a Cummins diesel engine with an automatic transmission. So, and it's an aluminum body, which is a perfect setup for what we want to do.
And the connection between Father Judge, the badge, share with us some stories of the mystical powers of the badge. And you know, this has happened. I'd really want you to share with that, because I actually I never told you what I felt, but I want you to share with our viewers what people have said about the badge.
Well, when we got the badge, we never realized the mystical powers that it had. And one of the questions I always say to myself, why me? I never knew him. What was my work, and what is my journey, and where does this lead me to? Well, we would let people hold the badge, and they would start saying and telling us that, I feel something. I said, what do you feel? I feel a heartbeat, really. And then another person would say, I have a sensation of peace come over me. I had a lady hold it at one of the fairs we went to, and as she walked away, I said to her, did you feel anything? She said, I really don't want to talk about it. I said, well, I would like to ask you, because I'm keeping a record of things. She says, well, I smelled smoke, I saw fire, and I heard some screams, and that's all I want to talk about. I said, okay, thank you very much. So she left, and another couple came over, and they held the badge, and they felt heat. So I gave it to this little girl, not tiny, but maybe 12, 14 years old. Little me, because I'm an old guy. And she quickly handed it back to me. So her father came by and told us the reason that she handed it back to us. She said it was really hot, and she didn't want to hold it because it was so hot. It wasn't hot to us. I don't know what the message is, but I know one of my friends that's on our team said, he calls me Chief, can I borrow the badge for my grandfather? I said, sure. He called me up the next day and he says, it worked. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, my grandfather's in a nursing home. He's in a daze, he didn't know where he was, just laying there. I put the badge on his arm. He immediately sat straight up, knew his name, knew who I was, knew the day it was, he knew everything. So we were able to take him home. He got all his stuff together, the family business, and he died a short time later.
You said to me, I'm not in charge. You have this saying.
I'm not in charge.
Exactly what is the saying that you've said multiple times?
Well, I just follow where I'm supposed to go. I'm not in charge. He's in charge. And I'll think of something and it'll happen. Or I'll think of something I need for the truck and I'll find it. Or someone will donate it. And so I know I'm not in charge of this project. I know.
And I'm sure taking care of a fire truck gets expensive, it's maintenance.
It is.
What are the things that you're looking for right now or that you need, recurring things for the truck?
Well, I do need, I have a transmission leak in the transmission, so I'd like to get that straightened out. And we do have to get 2 new batteries. The batteries are getting old and they're tired, and I don't want someone to get stuck somewhere with the truck not being able to start it. It's very important to me to keep the truck in good condition because I'm not the only guy that drives the truck. I have 4 other guys that take the truck when I'm not here. So there's always something going on with it, and a lot of it I've been able to take care of myself because I keep the truck at home. I have a big garage for it, and I've been able to catch stuff before it gets real bad. But we do need some routine maintenance on it, oil changes and filters and things like that. And the transmission, I think, is going to be needing some work pretty soon. It's leaking oil all over the floor, so I keep Speedy Dry around. I keep my shop looking good.
And you keep the shop looking really good, and you do a great job of keeping that truck pristine.
Oh, you have to.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about the license plate in the back that you were able to get, which was also almost like another miracle or unbelievable story.
Now somebody else is in charge of this project, and if I think I'm in charge of this project, it's going to fall apart. I had my number plate that was given to us was a 420, and I said, gee, I wonder if 555 is available. Well, I called the Special Plates Division in Boston. Yes, that plate is available. And I said, wow, where would you like it sent? I said, well, so you can send it to the registry in Fall River. She said, well, okay, just bring $20 in your old plate. So 2 weeks later, the plate came in, and it says 555 on the plate. And that is significant because that's the last alarm for a fallen firefighter. They ring the bell 5 times, 3 times at the cemetery. It's a going home signal. So I'm very blessed to be able to get that because people look at the plate, how did you get that 555? I said, I'm not in charge.
That's right.
I'm not in charge, you know.
And that's why I love your saying. Now you did another dedication to a compartment on the other side of the truck.
Yes.
That's dedicated to Vietnam veterans.
Vietnam veterans.
And veterans in general.
Yes. The men that built that compartment, I had 1 compartment left on the engine, so I said to my friend Al, he's a Vietnam vet, and he's very sick, and he does airbrushing. He does magnificent work with an airbrush. So I said, Al, you have this compartment. You can do what you want to do with it. It's up to you. So he made a Harley-Davidson gas tank cutout with helicopters from that era, the machine guns, the dog tags, the first and last guy's name killed in Vietnam, and it resembles or is a base camp in Vietnam. It's just amazing to see that compartment with what he did with it. And he airbrushed Mission in Action, or Prisoner of War flag on the door. It was just amazing work.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It does.
Great work, great work. Explain to us a little bit too about the lift.
You know how when we
Okay.
were out there, when I was looking at the truck, and you had that lift made,
Yes.
and you have an extra
Casket.
on the top there. So when you on the day of the funeral, that's what everybody can see.
That's correct. When the truck was at this first fire truck company, they made a module for the casket to slide in the back, and we had a lift table that we had purchased, and that they had put that on top of the module that the real casket goes into. And because we had an extra casket to put on top of the truck, you could always see it. So what this company did was they cut out the bottom of the casket and they put the table of the lift table inside it. So it brings the casket way down, so you can only see it from a distance, but if you're up close, you'll never see the second casket. And when we do a funeral, we'll raise this casket, because it has a flag on it. We'll raise it up, and you'll see a casket with the American flag on it. The real casket is inside the module.
And inside the module, you had some lights.
Yes, I have compartment lights in there. It's this new LED lighting. And the reason I put that in there was so when we put the casket in and close the door, that the family sees it going into a lighted area, not a dark hole. And it's all about the family. Family is the first thing we try to help and please and do whatever they want, because they're the ones that are hurting more than we are. When the funeral's over and we go home, they are still there, maybe still at the cemetery, or they go home and they're hurting. They're really hurting. So we try to give them a nice experience of the last ride.
And how does someone reach out to you? What's the normal process?
Usually,
Scheduling something like this.
We've done a lot of fundraisers, and we've passed out over 1,000 cards, and I've been to different fire departments, and so it's usually and we have a website also. It's www.gerrynadeau.org, and you can see the truck and what we do, and our heroes page and our veterans page. And the fire departments around know about in our area know about the truck and what we can do with them to help
And that's
them.
why I wanted to have you on the show, to one, raise awareness about what you're doing. I want to be able to help you in raising the funds that you need to maintain the truck in its pristine condition. You're doing a great job. You support firefighters, you support veterans, heroes, truly people that risk their lives. And it's you know, a great thing what you're doing for us families in this time.
Oh, thank you.
I also wanted to share the story about Father Judge and how
we all
that
pray for
is something
miracles.
We do.
that
We
you're
all
blessed
do.
with.
Yeah, actually,
You are
yes.
also
We don't want to
helping
wake up looking
people
at plant roots
and-
and heal. But
and helping
really,
them and healing them. And
with Father
you're
Judge's
giving them
badge,
hope.
it's really, when we do a fundraiser with the engine, or whether we do a country fair like we did this past summer, the 9/11 compartment draws a lot of people, because the children today do not know about 9/11. They weren't around. And what we try to do is let them touch the piece of steel. We ask them to hold Father Judge's badge and hold it this way, so that when we take a picture of them, that they can do a story about Father Judge. When you go back to school, your teachers say, "What did you do this summer?" Well, you can write a story about holding Father Judge's badge, because not many people will have that opportunity. So we try to spread it around, let people hold the badge, and let them know about Father Judge, and that he was part of the New York Fire Department, and he was a great guy, and they really loved him. He did their baptism, funerals, weddings, confirmations, and he was a down-to-earth guy. People liked him because he was one of them.
And you're keeping him alive, and what you're doing with your fire truck also is keeping Gerald alive.
Yes.
And I appreciate you and your story, and for coming on the show today and making it all the way out here. Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Roger,
It was
for
my pleasure.
looking so good and coming in here today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.